Hello.
How
You
are you?
okay? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So today we're going to be talking about your rise journey. You've
Yeah.
done it. How many times have you done it?
Every time, I think.
So 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe let's just talk about the first one, or even like the one that you felt was mostly transformative. I mean, you can talk about all of them if you like.
Yeah.
But
I
because you've
think
done
the
it 3 times.
first is probably
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
good one.
Um, what made you decide to do it? Like, what were you going through at the time that you felt like, shit, I actually really need to do this?
So I was definitely felt like I was low in confidence, low in self-esteem, felt like I needed to do something for me. And it was the way that you'd worded the leaflet, and it was kind of almost become a boss babe again, and it was like empower yourself, and it was kind of was like, yeah, that's literally what I'm looking for right now. So then I joined, and it almost just opened my eyes up a little bit more,
Yeah.
just kind of digging deep within me, that like stuff that was probably holding me back, that I was just holding on to for no reason. And it almost just changed my perspective of looking at things a little bit more.
Yeah. What would you say was the, like, your biggest aha moment?
Other people's judgment, I would say, was my biggest one. And I think that's always held me back so much.
Mm-hmm.
So since kind of doing it and being like, it actually doesn't matter,
Yeah.
it was almost like a wake up call to be like, well, we may as well just do it anyway then, and actually have more fun rather than like worrying about other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Which
I
is
think was like
huge.
my biggest thing
What
for
was it about
sure.
the judgment piece that you realized?
Just I was holding myself back from like having fun or doing something spontaneous because I was worried about other people's judgment so much without
Mm.
realizing it as well.
Yeah.
And I think now, because I don't worry about what other people think as much, it's kind of like, just do it, have fun. If you want to do it, it's going to make you laugh and it's going to like bring you joy. Why are you holding yourself back because
Yeah.
of others?
Yeah.
And I think that was incredible. It was so
Yay.
good.
I know, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck off the judgment.
Yeah, it was incredible.
What would you say was like the biggest thing that you learnt to support you in coming out of that fear of judgment?
I can't remember what we did for the homework around that. My biggest support was actually just putting myself in a situation where I would worry about someone's judgment about me doing something, but doing it anyway. And I think,
Yeah.
having that reassurance where it's like, well, actually, it doesn't matter. That, like, do I care? No.
Yeah.
So I think actually just even having the fear, but just doing it anyway,
Yeah.
that was probably the biggest thing.
Yay.
Yeah,
What was your favorite thing throughout?
it's my favorite thing. Some of the challenges I actually really enjoyed. I loved the meditation, the guided meditation, um, because I think it, having someone hold you through a meditation, I think it really helps you get a lot deeper, because you're listening into what you're saying rather than kind of your own mind taking its toll and getting involved and
Yeah.
changing how you feel. So I definitely loved the guided meditations.
Yay. What about the how did you feel supported in the group?
Oh, 100%. And I think it was nice because the other girls also supported you.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know that you weren't the only one going through that issue as well. Because that was the main thing. You feel very alone with your problems or the way that you think and stuff. Whereas you had the girls there to support you and be like, I know exactly what you're going through. Yep, I agree. This is what I felt as well. So it was nice to be like, oh, I'm not on my own. Like, that was probably a huge step. And I think it made you open up a little bit more, because you knew you were supported by the whole group, obviously yourself as well, but you were supported by the group doing it.
Yeah. And just that in itself is huge, because when you first step into a place like that, and I know this from myself, like stepping into group containers at the start, you're obviously a bit apprehensive because you don't know many people, and unless like you've got friends in the group, and that initial step of sharing feels like really vulnerable, and like, oh my god, like maybe people are going to judge me. And then just that in itself, like just sharing something, and then when everyone else is like, I go through exactly the same thing, it's such a huge permission slip. And I think having that support as well just makes you, like, just that support in itself shifts the whole judgment thing, because then you realize that actually everyone else is in the same boat, and so I can just be whoever the hell I want, because like it's safe to be me.
And I think going through some of the challenges where they were a little bit more challenging, you had the support of the girls there anyway, so it was like, oh, okay, I don't need to be fearful about what I'm going to write, or like you say, judged on what I'm going to write, because actually they're supporting you regardless. So it was good. And also you could tell when you didn't go as deep into it, because we had you go, come on, you can do better.
Go in. I think I actually put on quite a few of the tasks, like at the end, like go in deep, just because it just helps you unravel more, doesn't it?
It did. And especially if you, like, we'd been at work and you're tired, you're trying to do a thing, you're just going to do it just so it's done, but actually you're missing the whole point of why you're doing it. You need to do it to actually gain something from it.
How do you feel like it changed things for you?
I think it's definitely changed my perspective on everything. I don't think I almost view things from the same pair of eyes. I think I observe the situation more, but I've now got like multiple ways of like dealing with the situation. So things that were holding me back, I'm like, I don't find it affects me as much as it did now. I definitely think my character's come out way more since doing it.
It has.
For sure. I generally just think you are just almost scraping the bottom of your barrel and just cleaning the inside of yourself a little bit more, so you're kind of fresher in your mindset. It's really difficult to like explain how you feel, but you definitely feel just a fresher version of yourself.
What kind of things would you say that you've managed to do that perhaps you didn't have the capacity to do before, or didn't believe that you could do before?
Going out and about on my own was just a complete no. Now it doesn't bother me at all. Like that is just one thing there. I'm like, Stan, I'll go to the shop on my own, doesn't bother me. So that was probably my biggest change. Just generally having confidence more in myself, and like walking with my head like held higher than I would, and singing in front of Marcel is just never a thing that I'd do sober. Now I do, because I'm just like, and so what?
That's
it's just
so
generally
good.
brought my confidence back. And just feeling so much better within me.
Like you can just be yourself.
You're not contained to this certain person that you've got to be for society anymore. You then become the person that you should be. And I definitely think that's what it's happened.
Yay. I'm so pleased for you.
Well, thank you for the course.
Thank you for joining, and thank you for joining like every time.
All the time. I definitely felt doing the two together, the spiral and rise, I think they worked really well together, because it was nice, because obviously they were, as you go through the chakras, you're doing them at the same time. So doing that, I think then having the homework from one helped the other, and I think they kind of harmonized each other really well.
They do actually work. There's been a few people that have done both, and I do actually feel like Rise really helps with the integration part of the spiral. and just makes you integrate and see things, like things just land like so much more quickly, I think, when you do both together.
Yeah.
But yeah, how long has it been
Definitely.
since you've done it? 6 months? Did we work out the other day?
Yeah, I think so.
6 months since you finished the spiral.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gone so quick.
It goes so quick. And then you look back and you're like, oh my God, like I was like so different before. Did you find that?
Yeah. Things like when other people get angry or upset or anything, and it's like aimed at you, but it's obviously not for you. Before I'd be like, oh my God, it's me, and like I'd really take it in. Whereas now I'm like, no, it's not my stuff. It's they're having a bad day, or it's their issue. Like that's changed when dealing with people.
Yeah.
And then just the way that I view things, like I said before, is you're seeing it from different viewpoints now.
How would you explain that? When you like say you've got a different perspective on things, how would you say your perspective was before and how is it now in comparison? I know it's a difficult thing to explain.
Yeah. So I would say I was a lot more reactive before. So if you were having a bad day and you were projecting that out, it would trigger me and I'd feel like I was having a bad day, and then I'd have a bad day because of it. Whereas now I know it's not mine to take on. So it's kind of, I sit back and almost just analyze what's going on in front of me to be like, okay, I don't have a reason to be angry at that, or I don't have a reason to feel what you're feeling at that point. So it's almost just putting like a pillar in front of you, like a little protection thing. And I think, before I was kind of open maybe to like feeling everything from other people, whereas now I'm like, no, I need to like close myself off and actually analyze more in the situation. So I'm not as reactive as I was.
And that's huge.
I'm not. So I definitely think that's been an incredible change.
Yeah. And like just being able to see things, like even see other people's behaviors from like in a more diplomatic way, where you're like more understanding of, okay, that's like, you know, that's why they're reacting like that. It's not because they're bad or horrible or like like just a really bad, horrible person. It's because of whatever they've gone through, and that's also not my stuff to carry.
I don't need that in my life.
I could be compassionate and have boundaries.
Exactly.
Amazing. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Do it. Just if you feel that you'd like someone needs to do it and they need that kind of change within them, they've just got to do it. They really do. And if it's something that they feel drawn to, they're obviously being drawn to it for a reason. And it is such a good thing to do. Like you say, the community of the girls are just incredible. The support of yourself during it. I think you just got to do it.
Follow your intuition.
Yes.
Thanks, babe. Thanks so much.
No worries.